Growing up, Generation X, we bought our toys at a lot of places. Of course, there was Kmart, Zayre's, KB Toys, even Lionel's Play World. But did you know Radio Shack had toys? That's right, while your dad was buying a new soldering iron, you could buy a new toy. Let's take a look at them. Guys, it's time for another video. We're going to talk about Radio Shack. Honestly, I thought I did a video about Radio Shack toys, but I looked it up and I couldn't find it. I did one. So we're going to talk Radio Shack. Now, a lot of toys went into Kmart or Zayre's or any other toy store. Most of the toys were all the same. All made by the big companies. You know, Mattel, Kenner, Hasbro. But over at Radio Shack, in the very back usually, or sometime right in the front, some showcase toys, mostly the RC cars and robots, they would have toys. Yeah, toys. And these were always, or most of the time, kind of more generic toys. Now, a lot of these were made by some of the bigger companies, but they slapped a radio label on it instead of the toy company's name. But most of them, even as a kid, you know, it looked a little generic. I mean, they were toys that maybe looked like another toy. You might find a robot that looks similar to Verbot, but it's not. It's an RC robot. And although Radio Shack I thought was gone today, but I checked their website and said they had a lot of stores. You can do a store locator. But I think most of these stores are independent. They're not really probably using the name Radio Shack. They might have one little section of Radio Shack. You know how people's like, AVO Schwartz is back. Toys R Us is back in the US. And you go look it up and it's just a little back room at Sears or something. That don't really count. But Radio Shack still has a website, so they still are around in some locations, I guess. But today we're going to look at toys that were only sold at Radio Shack. It's going to be so much fun. Let's look at a Radio Shack commercial back from the old days, and then we'll look at Radio Shack toys.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Hey, son, looks like your friend's got radio-controlled toys for Christmas, too. Billy, need some help with your 4x4 off-roader?
No thanks, Mr. Miller.
Know how to work the pincers on your battle saw, Ernie?
Sure it is.
How about your robot, Tim?
Under control, sir. Hey, Dad, can you help me with my Porsche?
What you might need me, son.
Radio-controlled toys from $11.95 to $59.95. Only at Radio Shack.
Okay, check out this Radio I got a bounty hunter missing on my shirt. Which one is it? Let me know in the comments below. A little game for you there. But there we go. This is a little talking little handheld thing. It told knock-knock jokes. Have anyone ever heard a funny knock-knock joke? Be honest. Have you ever heard a funny knock-knock joke? I don't think so. Maybe it just said knock-knock. I'm not really sure. I couldn't find any examples of what it actually said. I'm sure it was corny, whatever it was. And then we have, look at this. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey pee-pee all over you. Remember that saying? Remember when you had to do this and get out the refrigerator, get out the Coke, pour it in a glass, you drink it, and it's, oh, me Chinese, me Chinese. Remember that? You go, me Chinese, me Japanese, me pee-pee all over your Coke. Now, I'm not being raised. That's what we did as a kid. Remember that? Or was it just my family did that? Y'all remember that joke? Anyway, this is a taught kids how to use a calculator. If your kid can't figure out how to work a calculator, you got more problems in the world than math. And check out this right here, a BMW, heck yeah, 323 Racer. There you go, RC car right there. Hopefully it's a real, sometimes you find out Radio Shack had a cord on it. Yeah, the Radio Shack cars had a cord, not really remote control. But there you are, everyone else, every other toy store was having their Ferrari, their Camaro, and Radio Shack was out there with that BMW. Yeah, like an upper middle class black lady. Man, there you go. And then we've got the erector set. Look at that, you can build your own robot. That's cool at Radio Shack, and that's old. Is that a Pittsburgh Steelers logo? Not a football guy, but as a kid, I loved the Pittsburgh Steelers. For about a year, I had a jacket. I don't know, they won a Super Bowl that year or something. I never got into football. I don't know why, but I had a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers stuff. I always liked that little logo. And how about this? The Grinch driving a little, I guess, a car. Bumper car is where I was looking for. I guess this is more probably about the time the Jim Carrey movie came out, so it's not really like grew up in the 80s, but still, it was so stupid. I had to put it on the list, like this right here. The Camaro. We saw the BMW, now finally a Camaro 49. Man, that looks cool, right? That was one, a Camaro with the scoop on the hood, like Simon and Simon. Wasn't that a Camaro? You'll tell me in the comment. That wasn't a Camaro, that was... But anyway, I thought it was cool. That one looks like cheap plastic. Let's be honest, doesn't it? It looks like cheap plastic. Well, speaking of cheap plastic, look at this. A star drummer. He put batteries in this thing. This rocker's got a headband, sunglasses. He beats on his drum. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I bet that thing's a lot of fun for about 30 seconds. And then we've got another RC car, off-road, 4x4. These were never as good as you always hoped they were. I always thought, or maybe I was wrong, I always thought the ones at Radio Shack would be better. I'll see them at like Toys R Us and be like, ah. And I always hope that, hey, man, you buy it at Radio Shack, you getting some good stuff. Because every RC car, they would get stuck. A pebble would be on the sidewalk and get stuck on it. And then we've got a fake battleship. B-23. No. What's wrong, Dad? You sank my bootleg battleship. Yep. Hasbro didn't even sue him. Oh, Hasbro, Mattel, Parker Brothers, whoever made it. Shit. And then we've got a dinosaur handheld game. Move over, Tiger Electronics. There's a new boy in town. Think of how bad Tiger Electronics handheld games was in this time period. And check out Radio Shacks. Probably made by the Tiger Company. Probably made the same. And then we've got this inflatable robot. It roll around your house and everything. Probably a bitch putting air in it, and probably in a week the air would leak out. I'm surprised this thing. I saw this thing on eBay. I'm surprised it still had air in it. I guess you got to fill it up every week. And we'll put helium in it. That'd be cool. Be a flying robot around the neighborhood. And then you got Omnitron. Just one of those things. You know what you can do with this? You can recreate one of the funniest scenes of the 80s. It comes from a movie called Inner Space. Great scene right there. And then we have a hippopotamus with a light inside. Who would have thought that? Where would you use light? Oh, I gotta get something for Bobby for his birthday. Let me see. He likes hippopotamuses. He likes flashlights. Hey, I wonder if we can get a hippopotamus with a flashlight inside. So you go to all the toy places. You go to Zayre's, they don't have it. You go to Kmart, they don't have it. You go for Ames the Best, they don't have it. You go to TGNY, nothing. You go to Lionel's Play World, nothing. Playland, nothing. KB, nothing. And then you walk into Radio Shack and you say, hey, Mr. Radio Shack man with a short sleeve white shirt on and a tie. You look like you know what you're doing. I need a hippopotamus with a flashlight inside. It says, come on over here. We got a purple one. I think they came in different colors. And how about this pinball machine game? That looks like a lot of fun. Most of the time we look at these little cheap pinball games, they look horrible. But look at this. That one actually looks kind of fun. And then you got a mask that changes your voice. You put this thing on, you look like, well, let's be honest, you look like a jackass. You put this thing on your head and makes your dad wish you could have a late-term abortion. Really late. And how about a space voice robot? Another one, you put the headgear on, you talk through it, give a robot sound, and the robot, you know, I'm a robot. All right, there. And then we got craps, some more of a toy, I guess, for your dad or your mom. You hear them talking, you know, you in your room sleeping at night, you hear them talking down there. Hear parents downstairs talking about crap and stuff, and you're like, what's going on? What are they talking about crap? And then you go to Radio Shack, and you're like, oh, that's what Mom and Dad was talking about, craps. And you have a fake Verbot. I told you at the beginning of this, you have a fake Verbot, didn't I? There it goes, fake Verbot. Fake Verbot was bad as it was. I hated it. I loved it. I wanted it so bad. It was horrible. And, wait a minute, go back. Got a damn cord on it. And then you got another handheld game, Sonic Speedway. Racing cars. Not racing any fun, though, I'm sure. And then you got a metal detector. You could go to Radio Shack, get a machine that would detect metal. I don't know if it would detect copper. I don't know, but I knew it would detect metal. You go out in the woods, you think you're Indiana Jones. Although I've never seen him trying at all to detect metal. And then you got, oh man, 1 or 2 player championship golf. Now, Radio Shack guys, couldn't you spend a little bit more time working on the damn box? I mean, I know it's only $16, but that's a lot back then. 12 different courses. You could get a hole in 2, I bet, with this thing. And then you got a fake Teddy Ruxpin. A talking teddy. Talk to me, the teddy bear. There's some kid out there or some adult right now that's saying, oh, I had that. I hugged up with that thing. And how about this? A safe to lock your valuables in. Oh, we all had a lot of valuables as a kid. You know, I was going to make a joke about something we had valuable as a kid. I can't think of nothing I had that was valuable as a kid. Maybe 13, 14, I put my porn magazines in there and lock them up. You know, the porn mags I found in the woods. I can't really think of what else I would put there. Maybe you put a letter, I love Jenny, I think she's cute. Maybe you put that in there and want your parents to find it. I don't know. Maybe you had more secrets as a kid. And then we have dancing feet. Yeah, you could get dancing feet at Radio Shack. I think it should be called dancing shoes, but apparently you just put batteries in the thing and they vibrate and dance. Man, go into Radio Shack. Hey, Radio Shack, you got any shoes? Nope, but we got dancing feet. And check out this right here. Super Skater. It's got a cord on it too. The remote control. The cord just goes back and forth. You have to get down and walk with it. But it's a little man on a skateboard, so I guess that's kind of cool. And then you have Radio Shack Labor Maker. Yeah, you can get this thing and head over to the nearest Revco and change the prices on everything. Yeah, you can get everything on clearance now. Yes, my brother had this. I can remember turning that little knob, putting my name, stamping stickers and stuff on it. I remember that. 5 tape colors available. I remember blue. I'm sure they had other ones also. That's $1. $1, man. And then we have a fake RoboCop. Yep, yes, me. Oh, there's like a woman on the box. That's a fake RoboCop, right? That's got to be Radio Shack's fake RoboCop. What's it say? Color Man. Color Man. I'm looking at that. It's a little tiny for me right there to look at. But you know what they damn sure had at Radio Shack? Every Radio Shack you went into, they had these. And they told you about it. Radio Shack batteries. Oh, you couldn't walk out of that place without batteries. They would tell you every time. Worse, KB got into that telling you about batteries, but the Radio Shack was the worst. Every time you buy something, hey, we got a battery, you want it? No, I want a battery that's going to last more than a week. Batteries at a Radio Shack. I remember this promotion they did. Maybe it was nationwide. I don't know. Maybe it was worldwide. I don't know. Maybe it was local, where you brought in all your whatever you needed to change the battery in. They would put free Radio Shack batteries inside. It was a limited time. They didn't do it all the time. You got to bring your TV remote up there every 2 weeks and get new ones. No. They want to sell that battery tester. But you bring it up there and they'll be, oh, we'll put some batteries in for you, Curtis. Oh, Radio Shack. I kind of miss Radio Shack. Every once in a while I need a little gadget that's kind of hard to find, a little cord or something. You knew Radio Shack had it. Now you got to go online, wait 3 days. By the time you get it, you don't even remember what you got it for. You're like, what did I buy this for? But let me know about some of your fond memories you had at Radio Shack. And did you get any toys from Radio Shack? I'm not sure if I ever did, other than that price changing thing. But I don't even know if I bought it at Radio Shack. My brother had. I don't even sure if he got it at Radio Shack. He could have got it somewhere else. I'm sure everybody sold that. Maybe he just stole it from a stock room at Kmart. I'm not really sure. Let me know what you thought about Radio Shack in the comments below.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.